in a long time.
All righty. Okay, let's talk about the elections, things that are coming up around the election. Obviously, the Republicans are trying to take over, and if they do, they say that things will probably be changing down at the border.
That's right. If it happens, changes could be made along the border. Dave Davis is live there with Congressman Brian Bilbray for what this could mean for San Diego. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, Dan. Yes, it doesn't, as I mentioned a moment ago, it doesn't get any more southwesterly than this. We are at the very point, the furthest point you can go south, the furthest point you can go west in the United States, the ocean right behind me here, the border fence on this side, the border fence on the other side. We're in between on federal property right now. And joining me this morning is Congressman Brian Bilbray, who actually grew up a stone's throw from here. Good morning.
Actually, 2 houses between here and there was my house, but it's been a while since I've been down here, and seeing all the change has really been pretty impressive.
Yeah, in the day, you say you used to go bow hunting here, didn't think twice about crossing back and forth.
We used to hike across here. There was one strand of barbed wire about waist high, and that was basically to keep cattle from wandering on one side of the border to the other, and that was it. And there wasn't any development down here.
You know, and things have changed so much, and we were talking a moment ago, you said, you know, the border is just a symptom. It's not really the problem. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, you know, back in my day, it was a safe neighborhood. Kids could play down here. Now it's a very dangerous. But I think the biggest problem, you hear everybody talk about the border problem, the border problem. The border is not the problem. The border is the symptom of the problem. The drug murders, the illegals dying down here is all caused by people and what they're doing up in the United States. The purchasing of drugs, the hiring illegals, politicians talking about amnesty, that entices people to come to the border to break the law. And what we've got to do is understand that if we're going to solve the problem, we're not going to do it just with fences. We got to stop the employers from hiring illegals. We've got to stop politicians from promising amnesty, and we've got to stop people from thinking that buying drugs is only about them. They got to come down here and see the thousands of people who have died in the battle at the border, and the people at fault of that, those using drugs, those hiring illegals, they're part and parcel of these deaths that have happened down here.
We're coming to a very interesting time. November to January will be a lame duck area of politics. What do you expect to see happen during that time? Because this is a real hot topic in Washington.
Yeah, actually, I was down meeting with the Mexican Congress with a couple other congressmen in a place called Campeche, and announced to Mexico was that during the lame duck session, there's an intention by Pelosi to bring amnesty up for a vote, planning on getting those who are retiring, those who have been voted out, to go ahead and vote for amnesty, something they wouldn't want to do before an election, and try to jam it through. I think that it's a very dangerous time to do that kind of legislation. And frankly, I think the American people be outraged that if it's not good enough to do well before the election, why are you trying to do it the back door? And this kind of backdoor maneuver is what people are sick and tired of on both sides when it comes to talking about Washington.
Something interesting that you talked about a few moments ago that a lot of Americans probably don't know. Now, if someone crosses this border and they're caught by Border Patrol along this border or in the water, which we've been seeing quite a bit of up the coast of San Diego, they are sent back. They are deported. But if they're caught inland, talk about the difference there.
Well, a big change with this administration, the Obama administration has said, we're going to just concentrate all our deportations on people who've broken other laws than immigration. So if they catch somebody here along the border, they can be sent back. But if you get caught in the interior by ICE agents, the policy has been of the Obama administration is release the people unless they have broken another law. So basically they've said that if you get in the interior and don't worry about immigration control as long as you don't break another law. And that's a real bad mixed message. And they claim, oh, we're setting priorities. It's really a wink and a nod and finding an excuse for not enforcing the immigration laws in the interior where it really needs to be done. And you ask the Border Patrol agents, they'll tell you that, look, rather than hiring more Border Patrol agents, let's hire more ICE agents and let's enforce the law in the interior. The guys on the front line here at the border will have a lot easier job and a lot more manageable job if we had more ICE agents busting the employers who are hiring people and enticing them across this border.
All right, Congressman, you'll stick around for another hour?
Absolutely. I'll look around.
All right, Congressman Bilbray, down here at the border, we're going to come back and talk about what if the Republicans take the majority in Congress after this session or after this election. What does that mean as far as border issues go? Bridget and Dan, I'm going to send it back to you.
Certainly a huge effect here in the region. I'm surprised to hear. I didn't know Brian grew up right in that area, too.
Yes, he did. He has a lot to do with there's a lot of horse trails down here that are protected, and Congressman Bilbray has a lot to do with that as well. In fact, I've ridden on some of those on horseback, and some beautiful areas down here. If you've never been down to the state park down here, it's worth the trip.
State Park. Yeah.
Through the estuary.
Yep. Okay, David. Thank you.
David.
You got it.
See you later.